Imagine two versions of yourself. In the first one, you go about your day focusing on your own life. You're not rude or mean, but you don't go out of your way to brighten other people's day either. In the second, you smile at strangers. You compliment people. You start conversations with people you might not usually talk to. At the end of that day, which version of you feels most fulfilled? Which is most energized? Which is most likely to stumble onto new opportunities? Over the past few weeks, I've been running something I call the Aliveness Experiment. And I've discovered something very important. Kindness is one of life's greatest cheat codes. Let me tell you why. About a week ago, I went to Montreal to a place called Mount Royal. And at the bottom of the mountain, there's a beautiful park. And I was walking around. I saw this guy sitting on a bench by himself. He looked kind of down, kind of lonely. And my heart just went out to him. So as I walked past him, I gave him a nice smile. I waved. And with my energy, I said to him, "Hey, brother, you're not alone." He smiled and waved back. And I thought that was it. Then about 30 minutes later, I came back around and he was still there. And I felt curious about this guy. So I just walked up and I said hi. And we started talking. On the bench next to him, he had a sword. So I asked him, "Hey man, what's up with the sword?" And he said, "Well, I'm meeting some friends to do some medieval sword fighting here." Wow, that's fascinating. I asked him a bunch of questions about it. And eventually he said to me, "Well, hey, if you want, you could join us. We started about half an hour and I'm sure one of the guys will have an extra sword." I said, "Really? That's an option?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely. Just come back." So I said, "Okay." So I kept on walking and a little while later I came back around and here they were playing. So I stood on the sideline just trying to understand what was going on. And within about 20 seconds, a guy walked up to me and he handed me a sword and he said, "You want to play?" I said, "Sure." And I had an absolute blast. We were laughing, swinging swords, and I was discovering this whole new universe with these guys I'd never met before. And it was so beautiful, so sweet. Later that day, as I was driving home, it hit me. This was not supposed to happen. I woke up that morning without the faintest idea that I might be involved in sword playing, but here it was. It had just happened. One smile led to a conversation led to an invitation, and that led to one of the most memorable afternoons I've had in a long time. And maybe the best part is that they've invited me to go back, and I'm actually going back tomorrow. Because I chose to go outside of my own little bubble to open myself to the world, it opened up a whole new world for me. And that's led me to wonder, how many opportunities are we missing out of because we're too focused on ourselves and not enough on what's going around us? When I was 13, I got super into Buddhism and I started reading these books by the Dalai Lama. And one quote always stayed with me. He said, "My religion is kindness." I've always loved that. Life can feel overwhelming, can be complicated, but moving through the world with kindness, that just makes sense to me. But as I look back over the years, I can see that my kindness has kind of fluctuated over time. And it seems to be correlated with my stress levels. When I've got a lot going on, when I'm busy, kindness is one of the first things that kind of goes out the window. Maybe you can relate to that. I tell myself, I'm too busy, I don't have time, but I'm starting to think that maybe this whole time I've had it backwards. There's a great book by researcher Adam Grant, and in that book, he tells us that there's 3 types of people. Givers are those who seek to help others without expecting anything in return. Matchers keep score, they keep things about even. And takers, they try to get more than they give. And what's fascinating is that his research found that in almost all fields of endeavors, business, art, science, etc., the top 10% of performers generally are givers. And the bottom 10% of performers, also givers. And the difference is that the givers who succeed, they are helpful and generous, but they know how to set boundaries and honor themselves. That makes sense, right? Because we all know people like to help those who are helpful. People like to support those who support others. And people like to invite those who bring good energy and brighten other people's day. But we need to make sure that we don't abandon ourselves in the process. And if we do that, I sincerely believe this can open up a whole new world of possibilities for us. That happened with this swordplay story I just told you about, but I've also seen it in my career. For 7 years, my coaching business had a full roster of clients. And I never did any marketing. I didn't even do any social media. It was all word of mouth and referrals. And I like to think that it's because I went out of my way to be generous, to go the extra mile, to be helpful. people appreciated that and they wanted to share that experience with others. It really seems that kindness is a great business and life strategy, but to be honest, I never saw it that way. It's just the kind of person I wanted to be. And I'm starting to see that it goes much deeper than that. When we choose to operate from kindness, we feel different. We feel more alive, more connected, more loving. And that's kind of one of the greatest feelings in the world. It's such a beautiful state to operate from. And generally the world mirrors back to us. So all of a sudden we see more kindness, we see more beauty, we see more love because the world gives it back to us. So I'd love to give you an invitation to play a little game with yourself. Today, see if you can brighten other people's day. Maybe smile to a stranger, give someone a genuine compliment, or start a conversation with someone you might not usually talk to. And notice what happens. And perhaps more importantly, notice how it makes you feel. I think there's a very good chance you'll feel more alive, more awake, more of who you truly are. Ultimately, we all know that kindness is a good thing to do for the world, but I'm starting to realize that it's also one of the fastest ways to make our own life richer. And what's beautiful is that it's free, it's simple, and as far as I can see, the only side effect that comes from it is that it may make you a little bit more successful, a little bit more attractive, and a whole lot happier. So give kindness a shot today. And if you're up for it, let me know in the comments, what's one small act of kindness you like to do or one that you would like to do? And I'd really love to know what that is for you. But for now, enjoy your day, enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride, and share kindness with the world. I'll see you very soon.